Hello, learning coaches. Today you will work with your students on beginning to figure out how to decode words that contain IR, UR, and ER in them. They will look at words that contain those, they will isolate and identify that spelling pattern, and they will read it. A good way to continue practicing this is to build word bank with the words that have things in common. So all the IR words will go together, all the UR words will go together, and all the ER words will go together. Please take a moment now to pause the recording to have your student practice the spelling pattern. Help get it into their long-term memory by repeating it over and over again. Let's practice it one time first with me, and then you can practice it after you pause it on your own. You're going to say, IR says like bird. UR says and ER says Go ahead and pause the recording and have your student practice that 2 or 3 times with you. Again, IR says like bird. UR says ER says Now that you've had a chance to practice that, we'll start looking at some of the spelling patterns. All of these words in this stack of words have ER in them, so they're going to say and some of these words will probably need a little more coaching from you and assistance from you with them. So what I'm going to do is actually cover part of it just to make it so that we're focusing on portions of the words. Feel free to pause this at any time to write down the words that we're practicing. So here's the first word. Take a moment to have your students practice this one. Remember that OW says O, and that's something you might have practiced with your student already. Did they say lower? Lower. Very good. All right, let's try another one. Let's try this one right here. And remember, you can point out the parts that you think might stumble them. What does OR say? Ask your student, what does OR say? Okay, now let's read it. Did they say sh, or, t, shorter? Very good. Okay, let's try the next one. Point out to your student that NN will just say N one time. Did you say win, winner? You're the winner of that race. Very good. All right, the in this word is in the middle. L. Kernel. Did you say kernel? Like a popcorn kernel? Very good. All right, ask your student, what does EE say? EE says E. Very good. E. D. Feeder, like a bird feeder. Very good. All right, let's try this one. EA says E. Eed. Reader, someone who reads. Reader. All right. If you're feeling comfortable with that, let's move on to the next couple. Remember, it's okay to pause them in between each one and write them down. There it is, EA again. Leader. Thinner. Very good. There's ER right there in the middle. Fern. Did you say fern? Fern. This G is going to be a hard G. Germs. Germs. One of my favorite words. EA says E. Teacher. Someone who teaches. Great. Everyone's doing great, right? All right, you can always rewind the recording and go back and write these down and practice them and add them to your word bank. All these word families go together. Locker, faster, soccer, there's that double consonant again. It only says that sound one time. Hotter, verse. A verse is a story in a book. Or a story in a line in a poem. Okay. Term and stir. Did you get all those words? You can rewind the recording and do it again if you'd like. Now we're going to take those words and we're going to sort them. Now I'm going to actually want you to make on your piece of paper 2 columns, and I want you to draw a line, and you can fold your paper in half, and on one side you can write one who, and you can write comparing 2 items. And then I'm going to show you a word and put it in the middle, and I want you to write it where it belongs. So I'm going to put stern, and I'm going to put it right here in the middle. You're going to write down whether stern is someone who, or if it's comparing 2 items. When you compare 2 things, it has ER at the end. So does stern go in one who or comparing 2 items, or neither one? If you said neither one, you're correct. It goes right in the middle. It's not one who, and it's not comparing 2 items. How about this one? Where would you put that one? Go ahead and pause it and write it down. Very good. Neither one. How about soccer? Now the ER is at the end finally. So the ER at the end either means one who or comparing 2 things. Very good. Again, it doesn't mean either one. Okay, here we go. This is one. This will go into one of those columns. Faster. Does faster mean one who, or does it compare 2 things? Write it down. Pause it and write it down. Faster. I am faster than you are. Very good. How about hotter? Is hotter someone who is hot, or are you comparing 2 things? Very good. You're comparing 2 things. About verse. Where does verse belong? Neither one. Locker. Is locker someone or something that locks, or is it comparing 2 things? Ah, it's something that locks. Very good. Teacher. Does the ER at the end of teacher mean one who, or is it comparing 2 things? You're right, it means someone who teaches. Very good. How about thinner? Are you comparing 2 things, or is it one who? Very good. That pencil is thinner than the other. How about fern? Neither one. It's gone. Germs? It's not at the end, Mrs. Slessor, so the prefix or the suffix comes at the end. The suffix, there is no ER suffix at the end, so it doesn't mean one who or comparing 2. How about leader? Is that someone who, or is that comparing? Very good. A leader is someone who leads. How about reader? Very good. It's someone who reads. How about winner? Someone who wins. Very good. And if I'm going too fast for you, go ahead and pause it for each one. Kernel. Oh, Mrs. Slessor, you can't fool us. ER is not a suffix at the end of our word, so it doesn't fall into either category. Feeder. Very good. It's something that feeds. So it's like a bird feeder. Then we have lower. That's comparing 2 things. And we have shorter. All right. Shorter compares 2 things. Very good. So now you should have a nice list of ER words. Now I would like for you, you are completely done with practicing ER with me. Now you're going to upload the document that has you working on ER words, practicing reading them. And then you will be done for this lesson. Now remember, if you run into IR or UR words, those do the same thing. They make the same sound, and you can practice that again in another lesson with me, or you can practice that again in another recording coming up. So right now we're practicing our ER words. Those are our big focus, but we also know that UR and IR make the same sounds. So thank you so much for being here. Remember to complete the worksheet that accompanies this recording and send it off to your teacher. Have a great day.